Sexism has been a recurring barrier that has prevented women from reaching their full potential as early as 1960 to now. It can be said that progress has been made, women have the right to vote, become leaders, etc. However, looking from a broader perspective, there are still cases and statistics that demonstrate sexism still being alive. Essay titled The End to Sexism in Gaming Communities, the author shares the harsh reality of being a female gamer, and where an innocent female has been victimized with no reasonable proof or statements. This is one of the many articles similar to this case. A TED Talk titled The Dangerous Ways Ads See Women portrays the difference of a man in an ad compared to a woman.
Here we have Brad Pitt and former supermodel Linda Evangelista, about the same age, each one of them in an ad for Chanel, but he gets to look like a human being and she's transformed into a cartoon. Now sometimes, every now and then, a celebrity resists. And as you may know, just this week, Lorde sent out a tweet with an unretouched photograph below the Photoshop version. And she tweeted, "Remember, flaws are okay." Good for her, but this doesn't happen very often. Men are photoshopped too, but when men are photoshopped, they're made bigger. Andy Roddick laughed when he saw the bulked up arms on this cover photo and suggested they should be returned to the man they belong to.
A quote from Sarah Lockritz and Alice Courtney, "The full print advertisements examined very rarely showed women in working roles is about 33% of full-time workers in the United States are women. However, only 12% of the workers shown in the ads are female. Almost half of the men were shown in working roles. In contrast, less than 1/10 of the women were shown in working roles." An analysis of the roles portrayed by women in magazine advertisements explained the statistics of women who are displayed as trophies in the advertisements. Sexism is still relevant in different areas of society and creates obstacles that prevent women from breaking the glass ceiling. This shows that women in different areas of society are being treated unfairly compared to their male counterparts. There are varying degrees of sexism within society. One example is neosexism. Neosexism is the belief that inequality does not exist between genders. This ignorance leads to misconception as well as belittling women who have experienced gender inequality. Feminism was then being integrated within every part of the civil rights movement in the 1960s.
There was a charge for change, known as the women's rights movement. But long before then came the fight for women's suffrage, which granted American women the right to vote in 1919. That movement, led by Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton, paved the way for the second wave of feminism in the 60s and 70s. In 1960, family planning was transformed as the FDA approved birth control pills for contraceptive use, opening a new chapter for the career women. About 3 years later, at the urging of Esther Peterson, President John F. Kennedy signed the Equal Pay Act. Also that year, Betty Friedan published The Feminine Mystique.
Cases of sexual discrimination are still a recurring pattern. The truth is, sexism is present now more than ever.
What, you sitting there doing your makeup all morning? Right now I have to write you up.
No, please, this is my first time being late.
No exceptions! And also, those designs had better be good. You know how important this client is that's coming tomorrow.
Hey, Roy, I'm so sorry I'm late.
Hey, don't sweat it.
In a broad sense, sexism is integrated within each part of society. For example, in school, when kids are taught about different careers they want to go into when they grow up, there are images to represent each career. In this image here, we have a stereotypical Google search image for a nurse. And in this image, we have a stereotypical Google search for a firefighter. This shows how women and men are portrayed in different occupations. As a quote from Holly Butner and Martha McAnally, by extending the research on upward influence tactics to the employment interview, this study indicates that men and women should utilize different influence tactics in order to gain employment. Here's an example of a female celebrity who is being asked questions that can be deemed as unprofessional.
could use makeup or your phone one last time, which one would you pick? Makeup or your phone?
Is this
one
what you
last
think
time?
girls have trouble choosing between?
Can you really go anywhere without your cell phone?
Yes.
How long can you go without looking at Twitter?
Many hours.
Hours.
Many hours.
I don't believe it.
Absolutely, I have to do it. But, you know, when I'm at a dinner table, I like to be present and talking.
Good quality.
Eye contact.
Ladies, learn.
Yeah.
Listen and learn, ladies.
Boys learn.
Right now.
Now here is a video of a male celebrity where the interviewer asks intriguing and thoughtful questions during an interview.
Hanging out with the star of the film. Okay, first you were Homecoming, now you're Far From Home. What was it like coming back the second time?
You know, it was amazing. It was really like going on a summer break. Like the first film felt like our first year of school, then we went on a summer break, and then when we came back, it felt like we were picking up right where we left off. You know,
In Every Generation Has to Make Its Own Women's Movement, Imagining How to Get Up, the author, Littler Joe, mentioned that great progression has been made since the early 1960s. When the author was attending university, women were a small minority. Now women have exceeded the educational barrier. With progression comes time. Within the next few years, it will be interesting to see what changes the women liberation movement has made.